Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Blue Bob's channel. The gaming CPA is in. I just want to talk a little about Stadia's opportunity to host the first ever cloud gaming tournament and what that just might look like, potentially bringing in future revenue for Stadia, but also just showcasing and basically getting Stadia out to everyone who has refused to try it because of the negative narrative out there. And Stadia is the only platform that could host a cloud gaming tournament in a similar setting with a battle royale. So what I want to talk about a little bit is, let's first go over kind of what the cost would look like. All right, I put in the title a $33.333 million expense that Google would need to be able to cover. And what would it cover? I'm thinking $30 million prize pool, just like Fortnite did. All right, in Fortnite, they had 40 million players participate, and the total prize pool was $30 million. Okay, Google Stadia, if they do a similar prize pool, I believe that they will be able to get a vast number of players. Okay, now Fortnite had 40 million in over 200 countries. Now Stadia currently is only in 14 countries, so they're only 7% of that. But 7% of 40 million, if it's a perfect, ratio of, players to countries, they could still pull in at 2.8 million gamers into this tournament. And 2.8 million gamers, if they set it up right, and what I would want Stadia to do is I want them to set up like a 3-month tournament. All right, you got 2 months of kind of getting ready, or you got 1 month of getting ready. Then you have a month of qualifiers, and then like the final month of the actual serious stuff, with maybe the final week or a couple days being in a stadium. Of course, that's if COVID's over and we don't have to worry about that anymore. However, they give people Stadia Pro for 1 month. If people are in the qualifying, then they have to pay at least $10 for an additional month of Stadia Pro to continue qualifying. And then if they make it into that last round, I'm not sure how many people, they could actually recover their money for the tournament within those 2 months. All right, let's say you have 2.8 million players. All of them go for that second month. Okay, they're still playing because the second month is qualifying. First month is warm up, second month is qualifying. 2.8 million times $10 for the month is $28 million Stadia could raise, basically almost covering their total expense. Now let's say that they drop it down to maybe, I don't know how many people will be in that last month. Maybe they have semifinals and then finals. Maybe it's 500,000 people are left. Who knows? That could be an additional 5 million. Boom. They're basically covered with their tournament. Their tournament expenses are covered just with those 2 months. All right, that's an option. So you got $30 million prize pool. They need to then take about $500,000. I have no idea. All right, I'm a gaming CPA. I know numbers. I have no idea what the cost would be to get. I would say, okay, I like Apex Legends. All right, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, I love the game. It's a fun game. My PC really can't handle it, so that sucks. But it's a fun game. I played on Xbox for a while. If they could take $500,000 and pay EA, Electronic Arts, to port Apex Legends over to Stadia and expand a map, make a Stadia exclusive map where it can house 300 players in the Battle Royale game. All right, a Stadia exclusive, local PC hardware cannot handle it, but only Stadia in the cloud can. If they could do that with Apex Legends or Call of Duty Warzone and get one of those titles to come over and have it be a Stadia specific and exclusive gameplay as well, and pay them $500,000 to basically to port the game over and expand the map. Again, that number could be wrong. I'm just spitballing. If they do that and then they take $2.8 million, all right, that'll get them to the 33.3, $2.8 million, and they pay YouTubers, content creators, gamers who have huge followings. And I don't know, maybe Dr. Disrespect gets 250,000, maybe Shroud gets 250,000, maybe some smaller people get 50,000, just to participate in the tournament and basically be like, hey, no matter how you end up, you're getting this money. We're going to pay you this money. If you end up winning $1 million, you're going to get $1 million plus what we pay you, and just add that extra incentive. So that way there's then the viewership, and maybe early on, maybe just in the practice rounds, those individuals also have the crowd play feature going. So that way gamers can squad up with their favorite YouTube content creators, maybe like once or twice, or maybe a couple days that they stream it like that. Just giving that opportunity, again, to showcase what Stadia can do with a crowd play feature of YouTube integration and bringing people directly into your game, just like that, super quick, super easy. I think that would be cool. So that's another 2.8 million. So now we're at $33.3 million. What's that other 0.033? All right, that 33,000. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's for your boy Blue Bobs. All right, the gaming CPA. That's his commission for coming up with a beautiful idea. But more importantly, that's the funds to make sure that he ends up getting, maybe flown out to the finals to participate, maybe to commentate, maybe to enjoy a little bit of the time. Also, wouldn't hurt if maybe he kind of got flown out to hang out with the old Dr. Disrespect and stuff. I'm just kidding. But hey, guys, the idea of maybe a little extra funds, I think if you're going to be paying these content creators, if you're going to be giving them the funds to participate in this, they need to send out, it sounds super against what Stadia should be, but some people out there just don't necessarily have the biggest brain, all right, the biggest IQ. They blame Stadia for their mistakes. They blame Stadia that it's not working on their PC, even though they have a 100 meg download or even a gig download. All right. Oh my goodness. I'm able to stream and play Stadia at 20 megabits per second. Literally the minimum I have to stream 1080p. All right. If no one else is on the internet, it runs perfectly fine. If someone else is on the internet, I get a blip every now and again, as would be expected. But I have calibrated my computer. All right, I've gone into Google Chrome. I've gotten rid of extensions as need be. I've turned off hardware acceleration if I need to. I made sure I have a Google Home router with Stadia optimized. All right, if you don't have one of those, then you need a router that has 5 gigahertz. I would say they need to send out maybe even Google engineers to basically just optimize the content creator setup, so that way Google Stadia is going to run just perfectly fine, crisp, no issues on the player end, and therefore anything that comes up would be on Stadia's end. I'm not saying Stadia is going to be perfect, all right? If they had 2.8 million people jump into their service day one trying to get after this, I would foresee that there might be a little bit of an issue. However, Google has a massive infrastructure. They claim they want to reach 1 billion gamers. And if they're making that claim, then they better be able to back it up. So that's where that $33.333 million is. And again, all right, a lot of people viewed it on YouTube. And guys, I'm going to pull up some fascinating stuff, all right? Financial statements. Let me tell you, CPAs, we do taxes, we look at financials, all right? This is kind of like our bread and butter, all right? Google, Alphabet, all right, the parent company of Google, reported that in the first quarter of 2020, their revenue was $41.2 billion with a B. $billion, all right? Billion, B. Their net income, so that means after all of their expenses, whoosh, are taken out, all right? All of their payroll, all of their rent, whatever, their depreciation is taken out, they still had a net income of $6.8 billion. That's basically money that they can then invest and spend however they want. So that's the parent company, okay? Alphabet. Now, Alphabet owns a lot, okay? They got Google, YouTube, Stadia. They also have like their self-driving cars, Google Maps, everything, all right? Alphabet company. So I decided, well, hey, why don't we like dig in a little bit deeper? Let's find out just a little bit more. So they do separate out, and actually YouTube, they do separate out YouTube's income. YouTube ads alone in the first quarter produced $4.038 billion of revenue. Okay, that's YouTube ads alone. $4.038 billion. All right. Now, if Google would be willing, okay, if they would be willing to simply loan a little bit of money to all Stadia, which is frankly, they own it. If they would be able to just release a little bit of the funds to them, 33.333 million to be exact, then I think Stadia would be able to do something incredible, because frankly, xCloud cannot host a cloud gaming tournament. All right, 720p on mobile devices? No, thank you. All right, that's not going to happen. GeForce Now, all right, you're a founder, you're trying to practice, you're putting in 8-hour days, your 6-hour session ends, you then have to get in line, and if 2.8 million people wanted to play, their servers are going to fill up. All right, so GeForce Now can't do it. Shadow, I don't know. I mean, I have the same idea with Shadow in regards to, I feel like their servers would probably get overloaded by the amount of people that would go into it. Stadia, you guys, they have the one shot, the one opportunity to make history with the first ever cloud gaming tournament, with a battle royale game with a $30 million jackpot, or not jackpot, but prize pool that gets paid out. Okay, now I just want to bring up YouTube real quick. The $4.038 billion, because remember, Epic Games hosted the $30 million prize pool for Fortnite, and that's what I'm comparing to. Okay, they had the 40 million participants in 200 countries, worth $30 million. Epic Games in 2019 made $4.2 billion in revenue, with $730 million in earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization, also known as EBITDA, which is a key measure of profitability. That's what they say. I mean, you still gotta pay your interest and taxes, right? Like, that's kind of blows my mind. So they make $4.2 billion in 2019. YouTube has made $4.038 billion in 2020, quarter one. YouTube has. All right, Epic Games showing that they're only making $730 million, all right, dollars before interest, taxes, and depreciation. Okay, it's not. I mean, that's less than $1 billion in actual net income revenue. Whereas Alphabet's reporting $6.8 billion in net income. So Google just needs to basically unleash Stadia to its fullest potential. They need to heavily invest in Stadia and say, Stadia, if you guys are going to be successful, host this massive tournament. Make it $50 million prize pool. Unleash into 30 countries, or double their countries to get an even bigger player base. I know that there's a lot of people out there that say, well, we can only play so much. There's data caps. There's internet shortages. I guess maybe I'm just in a part of the U.S. Pacific Northwest where we don't have data caps. I obviously have very limited internet. But at the same time, if you're going to be in a tournament, you're going to have to use internet no matter what. So I guess using internet through Stadia, in my opinion, it's internet, all right? You have to use it no matter what. But I would say Google needs to just unleash Stadia, all right? This is the number one opportunity. They can make history with the first ever cloud gaming platform tournament ever. I mean, I don't know what you guys think. What do you think about that? Should Google unleash the full potential of the cloud? And the beautiful thing is, you guys, if they do a 3-month tournament or a 3-month kind of, I guess, layout with the whole bracket system, it will allow them to basically, I would say, maybe even kind of work their servers to figure out where the biggest player base is, to make sure that they're, the power is kind of getting to where it needs to be, and that way people are getting the experience they need to, and they can kind of calibrate their servers to react to where the highest player base currently is in the gaming that's going on. So let me know what you guys think. Definitely a clickbait video, but at the same time, tell me if it doesn't make sense. Google has the funds. YouTube makes tons of money. Just YouTube alone making over $4 billion in the first quarter. If they just borrow some of that, not only that, but then they have content creators streaming to YouTube, bringing in more YouTube viewers, more YouTube revenue. But the beautiful thing is, you guys, is they could possibly make all the money back that they need for the tournament if they set it up right with those 2 months of Stadia Pro subscription. Okay, 2.8 million players at $10 a month is $28 million. All right, that's almost hitting their 30 million. And then if people stay on afterwards, boom, you just exploded your player base. exploded your player base. And frankly, Apex can continue on with the Stadia exclusive. They can continue on with a massive map, and that just might keep more gamers in. You never know. All right, you never know. And again, just getting people to try the service against the negative narratives. All right, if they pay that 2.8 million to the content creators, all right, to get out there and play Stadia and showcase and say, no, this is actually doable. All right, you know, you got people like Shroud, Dizzy, Dr. Disrespect that are streaming 4K, and their streams are seamless. They got the YouTube integration that Stadia ends up launching, and it's just going directly to YouTube. So there's literally no issues, no buffering, no nothing on their end. People are gonna actually see, oh wow, you mean YouTubers that don't just make videos to try to get subscribers? You mean YouTubers that actually game, that are actually trying out Stadia, and are actually have their setup done correctly to optimize for Stadia, and they're getting a good experience? Hold up. So you mean Yang Yi, the man that doesn't game ever, but just hates on things to get subscribers? You mean he's wrong? Dang. I mean, I don't know, right? That's crazy talk. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I could be totally wrong. I could be right. Honestly, it's a 50-50 chance in my line of work, in my world. But yeah, guys, hey, thanks so much for watching. This is Blue Bobs, the gaming CPA. And guys, until next time, maximize those deductions and pay less in taxes. Peace.